Bet you didn't see this one coming. Welcome to the totally unexpected Golden Gacha Games. I'm Zanto, and I'll be your caster for today once again. You might remember me from the Golden Creator Cup. I'm super stoked to be back. The Golden Gacha Games competition is like none other. It has never yet been seen in China or in global, so I'm super excited to present it to you guys. Without further ado, let's go over the competition rules. So, will today's competition be a battle of speed or a battle of wits? First, let's break down the competition itself. There will be 2 teams of 3 players. Both teams must complete the chambers in the following order. Member A will take 12-1-1 and 12-3-2, Member B will take 12-2-1 and 12-2-2, and Member C will take 12-3-1 and 12-1-2. The teams will be able to discuss and choose who will take which 2 floors upon themselves. The team with the fastest total clear time will be the winner of today's competition. Now let's talk about how the character picking process will work. Teams will have to choose at random 12 characters to be used throughout the competition. Each character must be used twice over all 6 halves of floor 12. We will have 2 helping hands with the RNG of the picking process. First off, 4 of the characters in the roster are visible to the teams as a safety pick. Each team may only use 1 safety pick if they desire. The rest of the safety picks, or if none were chosen at all, will no longer be available in the competition. Second, after the initial picking of 12 characters has concluded, teams will decide if they want to re-roll. Only 3 characters can be chosen to be re-rolled. As you can see, we're bringing the beloved or hated gacha mechanics from Genshin into the competition. Now, let's introduce the teams. Starting up in the left corner with Team Perfect We Win the Plus Pro Max O Yummy Lollipop Super Omega Giga Mega.
Hello and welcome to my team. We win to Plus Pro Max Super Omega Giga Mega.
We have Alioth, who has a strong speedrunning career on their Bilibili with many very unique solo runs that have record-breaking times. One of these runs also netting him first place in the Golden House's first ever competition, the Shogun's Decree. Next up is I Win to Lose, well known for his in-depth guides on his YouTube channel. He still managed to keep up with the speedrunning scene using his vast knowledge to compete with top speeds. And the third member we have is Misha Loon. Misha has shown their prowess in the speedrunning field by breaking many records for Spiral Abyss on the Golden House leaderboards, making them a very intimidating opponent in this competition. And in the right corner, our second team is Satomura. Coming up first is Alice, much known for their magnificently built Ganyu, showing off her limits in many speedruns across different abysses. They've also done continuous runs throughout the abyss, showing off their team building skills to tackle multiple floors with ease. There is also Sawamura. With outstanding times over multiple patches of the abyss, they have shown no signs of stopping on their speedrunning Hall of Fame. And the last member of the competition is none other than Tony Toe himself. His journey to discovering the many limits of the game has gotten his name known across the Genshin community. It has led him to hold other speedrunning challenges and now even competing in today's anticipated competition. Finally, let's move on to the team picking process. As a refresher, throughout the picking process and competition, neither team will know what the other has chosen. Each team will have 1 representative for the choosing process. Team Perfect We Win to Plus has Alioth be their representative, and Team Satomura will have Alice be their representative. Each representative will now choose a number from 1 to 10. Whoever comes closest to the number 3 will have the first pick. Seems like Alioth has chosen 6, and Alice has chosen 7. So Team Perfect We Win to Plus will pick first. We have 4 safety picks that both teams can see, which include Zhongli, Amber, Aloy, and Traveler. Alioth has decided not to choose any of the safety picks. Seems like for his first pick he's going to choose number 8, so let's see who it's going to be. And it looks like it's going to be Lisa. Now we'll alternate and Team Satomura will choose and have a chance at a safety pick. Seems like Alice has also decided to not use a safety pick. Both safety picks will no longer be available for the rest of the team picking. And for Alyssa's first pick, he has chosen number 7, which ends up being Sara. Alioth team picks number 12, which ends up being Toma. And Alyssa's team gets Eula, number 3. Number 6, Ayaka. Number 5, Kaya. 39 is Sayu. Number 1 is Barbara. Number 29 is Xinyan. 23 is Yanfei. 38 is Ganyu. 32 is Xiao. 30 is Albedo. Xingqiu is number 40. Mona is number 9. 26 goes to Chongyun. 16 is Noel. Bennett finally picked at number 36. And Shangling is picked right after that, number 20. 11 is Child. 31 is Hu Tao. 14 is none other than Diluc. 10 is Rosaria. And the last pick will be number 13, Yoimiya. Now that all the characters have been drawn, teams will be able to ponder over their cast and make a decision on whether they want to re-roll some of their characters or stick with what they have. Seems like both teams have decided to re-roll. Remember that each team may re-roll a maximum of 3 times. New characters obtained from the re-roll may be re-rolled again if a re-roll is still available. Since Team Perfect We Win to Plus had first pickings, Team Satomura will choose first for the re-rolling process. They've decided Barbara will be exchanged first and ended up swapping her with number 37, Beto. The opposing team will now exchange Elisa for number 2, Diona. Yanfei is being swapped for number 22, Kokomi. And on Aliot's team, Toma for number 4, Kazuha. Back to Alice, Kokomi is swapped for 41, Venti. And finally, Xinyan swapped for number 17, Sucrose. Looking at Team Perfect We Win to Plus, looks like they have some of the premier speedrunning powerhouses like Ayaka, Kazuha, Hu Tao, and Ganyu. However, seems like their support synergy is lacking a bit. I think energy is going to be a pretty big problem for them if they can't manage to one-rotate everything. On the other hand, for Team Satomura, seems like they got the opposite. They have a lot of the great supporting sub-DPS and enablers like Bennett, Beto, and Xingqiu Venti, but don't have the typical speedrunning units to capitalize on all this setup. Now, let's see how each team will adapt to the hand that they've been dealt. I suspect we'll see some exciting and interesting runs. Alright, looks like Alyssa is going to start us off in Chamber 12-1-1 with a one-shot team, it seems. We're going to group them all up with Venti and just melt them all down. Oh my god, that was fast. There's not much to say. Wow. Alright, moving on to Aliot's run. Considerably less one-shot potential, but I think it's still going to be a fast run overall. Just going to be setting up Ganyu Melt Blooms with the grouping from Sucrose. Get all these agents together. 114k, and they're dead. Alright, Sawa will be going up first for 12-1-2. A bit of an interesting team here. Not much synergy other than Chongyun and Diluc, but at least we get the attack buff from Sara. Looks to be going pretty smooth. Diluc gets free vapes off of those boars. And we're on to the second wave here. Hopefully the Primo Vishaps will stay grouped. We can plunge them all down. Wow, the ease. The C6 Xiao making quick work of that chamber. Just goes to show that you don't need much synergy when you have C6 Xiao and it's allowed to work. Alright, and to finish off 12-1-2, we have Misha with a double Geo Kazuha team. Generally, you don't want to be pairing Kazuha up with Geo because he can't buff it, but seems like the raw damage numbers is just to be carrying this run. Despite Geo being weak against the Primo Vishaps, that first wave went by quick. Now we're just going to group them all together with C6 Kazuha. That Rosaria actually kind of slaps too, considering it's not melted or anything. That was really fast. Seems like on this floor, the real difference maker was the grouping. Despite both teams being pretty low synergy, Misha has just had that Kazuha to keep everything grouped and keep the damage distribution even. Alright, and Tony Toe will be starting us off in 12-2-1 with honestly a pretty standard Yoimiya team. These are all units that you could expect to see with Yoimiya. Beto, Xingqiu already belong in Yoimiya teams. And against Magukenki, this team looks pretty solid. You have Yoimiya and Xingqiu for single target damage. Beto to counter all the big moves from the Magukenki. Okay, it seems like he missed it there. Misplay. But I think he has Broken Pines on Beto for the extra attack speed on Yoimiya. Taking good advantage of all the resources given to him. And this thing is just dying so fast. And there it is. And up against Tony Toe will be I Win to Lose Gaming, putting Ayaka against Magukenki. Once again, seeing the Broken Pines on Sayu. Surprisingly, it's not a Wolf's Gravestone, but I think we all know how this run is going to go. Ayaka is just going to absolutely shred. And honestly, Diona can battery Ayaka back up. Actually, it looks like he's not even going to burst here. He's just going to normal attack it down. And as soon as this phase goes through, he's just going to
press that Aika burst, and it's gonna disappear. Yeah, you just can't compete with that. That's just too strong. So on this floor, the fight is pretty straightforward. It's just a single Magu Kenki, no grouping involved, but it heavily favors single target teams. So while Yoimiya and Shincho are at their best in single target, C6 Ayaka can get all of her tornado hits, and all that damage is front loaded in 5 seconds. So her DPS is just higher here. We're going to be going back to Tony 2 to finish off Chamber 2. This time, Venti, Eula, and Yoimiya. I suspect a lot of the big work is going to be done by Eula here. I don't even think he needs to pop the burst here. He's going to save it up for this wave. And wow, clean, perfect execution. And going back to Iwin to lose with a somewhat scuffed Morgana team. We got Rosaria instead of Ganyu, and Kazu instead of Venti. But damage seems to be pretty good. The swirls are definitely adding up. Already looking a lot slower than the Eula team, but still pretty good. DPS tapered off a little bit at the end when the cooldowns weren't up. Again, that half was pretty straightforward. As long as you had a grouper, which both teams did have, then it's just a matter of how much burst DPS can you front load, and honestly, no one can really compete with Eula on that matter. Finally, moving on to Chamber 12, 3-1. Got a really burst heavy team here, looking to vaporize the child ult and get the Eula burst as well. And I think that's just what he's betting on right here. This Eula pop is inside it. Huge. Very clean. Very straightforward. I like it. Alright, moving on to Misha's perspective. We got the infamous speedrun combo with Ayaka and Hu Tao. I think we're going to see some huge numbers here. Still have a Sayu to apply Swirl and get the resistance debuff. Be splitting the Ayaka ults and the Hu Tao ults here. And wow, as soon as they spawn, they're dead. Amazing. So the win condition for that floor was being able to have 2 really high damaging bursts, one for the first and another for the second wave. And while both teams did have that, Misha's team transitioned into the second burst a lot faster than Salva's could. And to finish it all off on 12-3-2, we have a list with Xiao, Xingqiu, Kaya, and Diluc. So honestly, a pretty standard Diluc team with Xiao just thrown in there for when all the cooldowns are off. So we're starting off with Diluc, looking pretty good. Decent damage, as much as you'd expect from Diluc. And unfortunately, this one guy didn't group up with them. That's actually going to hurt the run a lot. Spending a lot of time killing this one dude. Even need to commit a second ult with Diluc. Now we're gonna rely on Xiao here. It doesn't seem like Alyss has C6 Xiao, so he has to rely on just the plunges. Oh no. Alright, still managed to clear it. But I'm not looking forward to see how fast the other side can clear it. Alright, with the last run, let's see how Aelioth manages to deal with this floor. Got a really solid team here. Hu Tao, Ganyu, Shangling, and Sucrose, all of which synergize really well with each other and just output a lot of DPS. First wave already dead. Grouping is amazing, and they're all just gonna die to Ganyu blooms here. Okay, that was so much faster. Wow. So the principle of this half is not much different than the previous one, where you need to be able to burst 2 waves consecutively. Unfortunately for Alyss, Diluc just doesn't have any burst whatsoever. Neither does Xiao. So it was just a really bad matchup on top of him not having C6 Xiao, really holding him back. Aelioth's team, on the other hand, can front load a Hu Tao burst and then do really fast melt blooms off of the Shangling Pyronado. Alright, all the runs have been completed. Let's add them all up and see how they placed. Starting off with Team Perfect, we win to plus. Their total time clocked in at 118.3 seconds, or 1 minute and 58 seconds and 331 milliseconds. On the other hand, Team Satomura clocked in at 157.69 seconds, which translates to 2 minutes, 37 seconds, 699 milliseconds. It seems like today's winner is pretty clear. Team Perfect We Win to Plus is today's winner of the competition, snagging the cup with a lead of 39 seconds. Alioth, Misha, and I Win to Lose have proven their knowledge and skill of the game with their limited team building. Of course, they also got pretty lucky in the team draft. Before we sign off, we want to thank all the participants from both teams for giving us their time to compete in today's competition. We would also like to give an extra big thanks to Misha, who is currently battling cancer. Even with his current situation, his love for Genshin can't be stopped, and it didn't hinder him from giving it his all to help secure that win. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.